Well, look, it's words. When I looked at his State of the Union speech, I watched it very carefully. In fact, I commented on Fox right after the speech with Neil Cavuto, who's a great guy. And we had a long talk, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "It's just rhetoric. It's words. It's all words. Sputnik and this and that." And it was long. He ought to spend more time in his office on the telephone talking to the folks at OPEC saying, you better get those oil prices down or you're going to be paying a big price. And they can do it. And by the way, with China, if we ever taxed Chinese products coming into this country, we would pay off their debt so fast, but we'd do something much more importantly. We would start creating jobs in our country because we'd equalize the imbalance that they've done by manipulating their currency. And the same way they cheated in the Olympics with their Olympic gymnasts and other things, they're cheating us with the manipulation of the currency. They are not our friends. I know them very well. I do business with them. I sold an apartment just a little while ago for $33 million to a Chinese gentleman. And I have a lot of friends in China. And I don't even blame them. I'm not angry at them. I just can't believe they can get away with it. And my friends from China said to me just recently, now they didn't know that I may be thinking about running for president, but they said just recently, we cannot believe how stupid your politicians are to allow us to get away with what we're getting away. Now, they thought they were talking to me as a business guy, and they're all laughing and smiling. We are a laughingstock throughout the world.
Billionaire investor George Soros says that the modest U.S. economic recovery is temporary. Do you believe that the worst is behind us?
If by the question you mean he thinks it's going to get worse, I would say that he possibly is right. If oil prices are allowed to inflate and keep inflating, if the dollar keeps going down in value, which is not good because you're going to pay $25 for a loaf of bread pretty soon. If you look at what's happening with our food prices, they're going through the roof. I mean, we could end up being another Egypt. You know, you could have riots in our streets also. So if he thinks things are going to get worse by the way he phrased that, or by the way you phrased it, I think there's a very distinct possibility that things will get worse, yes.
All right. Are you predicting inflation at this point? Is inflation a real threat in your view?
I think the biggest threat is the fact that our jobs are being stolen by other countries. I don't think inflation's a bigger threat. I think that the jobs, the fact is we're not going to have any jobs here pretty soon. You know, somebody that I know very well is buying an airplane, and the airplane's being made in Brazil. Think of it, Brazil. And the reason they're buying it is because they're getting a big tax credit. Now, the plane's going to cost $3 million. He's getting a $1.2 million tax credit in the United States. So he's buying a plane in Brazil, made in Brazil with Brazilian workers, because he's getting a tax credit in the United States. That's just one of hundreds of things. Is it insane?
You've been a patriotic American for some time. I know that you wave the U.S. flag so proudly in front of your home here in South Florida.
And many other places, including over the Pacific Ocean, where I have a tremendous club, and over the Potomac River, where I have lots of tremendous assets, and I wave the flag whenever I can.
What is it about this country that's so special to you? And why do you care so much?
Because,
why run?
Because I love the country, and I've done well in the country. My business has never been better because I've made some good decisions. It shouldn't be good. It should be terrible because a lot of other businesses are terrible, but I've made some very good and very talented decisions. I love the country. I hate what's happening to the country. In 12 years, China will take over as the world's great leading economic power, if not sooner. And the way we're going, this country will not be a great country as it was anymore. And that's very, very sad to me. So many bad things are happening. Recently I read, and this is a little thing, but it's really just emblematic of what's going on. $52 million of cash, a suitcase, was given by somebody, nobody knows who, I guess a colonel or a general, I want to know who these people are, was given to Afghanistan to be paid off to various places in Afghanistan. Now this is cash, this isn't we're writing a check. The money turned out to go to Dubai, which is Middle Eastern but having lots of problems. Dubai's having a lot of problems. So the 52 million in cash, which might have been 100 million before everybody was stealing it, ends up in Dubai, but it was meant for Afghanistan. And I'm trying to figure, Who is the colonel or the person, maybe it's a general, that signs to okay 52 million in a suitcase to be brought over? I want to get to know this guy because I could have a lot of fun with him. And I want to know, how rich is that colonel? You know, I have things where they're cash businesses, and I hire accountants to watch that people don't steal. And then I hire other accountants to watch them, that my accountants don't get paid off by the people that are stealing. And with all of that, they still try and steal. Now, who's the man that approves $52 million in cash in a suitcase? You tell me. There's so much money, there's so much waste going on in this country, and it's destroying the country.
Just how serious are you about considering whether to run or not? Where are you in the thinking process right now?
Well, I think you can see that I'm very serious. Number one, I wouldn't be here. Somebody said, oh, I'm promoting The Apprentice. It's a lot of nonsense. I don't need to promote. The Apprentice is in its 11th season. It's done phenomenally. It was actually, during many evenings, the #1 show on television. It's been a great, great success. I don't need to promote The Apprentice. I don't need to come here to wonderful West Palm Beach, Florida, to do this interview unless I am seriously considering. And I can tell you, I don't want to do it. I'm loving my business. I'm having a lot of fun. I hate what's happening to this country. I hate seeing this country ripped off by every other smart nation. I say smart nation. China, India, Mexico. You look at what's going on, the jobs that are pouring into Mexico. And we give them incentive to move people out of Iowa. Newton, Iowa got destroyed by Mexico. They took the plant, they had incentives from this government, and they built the plant in Mexico. And it wiped out a town called Newton, Iowa. So it's very sad. And it's not hard. It's not that hard. It's common sense. It's business. It's common sense.
So if you announce, when would you announce?
I would probably announce sometime during the month of June.
Why June?
You're not allowed, this is the laws of this nation, you're not allowed to announce if you're doing a television show. And my show is 2 hours on Sunday night for 16 weeks. So I'd probably announce during the month of June. Now, the problem is if I announced, then everybody else running would have to be given 2 hours of primetime network television. So I think it's ridiculous, but you're not allowed to announce if you have a television show that's currently running.
All right, Mr. Trump, thanks so much for being here. We'll have more with Donald Trump in part 2 of this interview. He'll explain to us where he thinks housing, oil, and gold are all going. Plus, he'll share with us his thoughts on Iran and Afghanistan. Thank you for watching Newsmax TV.